Hello everyone, your knees are breaking down faster than you think. That's a shocking statement, but it's true. Across the United States and Canada, millions of people, over 40, experience knee pain, stiffness, or that uncomfortable grinding sound when climbing stairs. Many of them believe it's just part of getting older. But the painful truth is this: most knee problems don't come from age alone. They come from everyday habits that quietly destroy the joint long before arthritis shows up on an X-ray. Think about it. Have you ever tried to get up from a sofa only to feel like your knees are locked in place? Or maybe you've climbed a flight of stairs and felt your knees creak like rusty hinges? If that sounds like you, type 1" the comments. If not, type 2. And make sure to follow this channel because we'll share practical tips and proven methods to protect your joints and keep you moving strong well into your later years. Your knees are like the hinges on a door. Every step you take, every time you sit, squat, or stand, those hinges carry your body weight, sometimes magnified by 3 to 5 times depending on the activity. Just like a hinge needs oil to move smoothly, your knees rely on cartilage and joint fluid to cushion every motion. But when bad habits starve your cartilage of nutrition or overload it with pressure, those hinges begin to grind down. The damage builds slowly and silently until one day the pain stops you in your tracks. The knee isn't just another joint. It's the largest weight-bearing joint in your entire body. Every time you walk, your knees carry 1.5 to 2 times your body weight. Go up the stairs and that pressure triples. Go down the stairs and it multiplies by 5. Imagine a small bridge that has to support the weight of trucks passing over it every single day. Without maintenance, that bridge eventually cracks, and so do your knees. What makes knees even more vulnerable is that cartilage, the smooth surface that cushions the joint, has no direct blood supply. Instead, it relies on joint fluid being pumped in and out during movement to receive nutrition. That means your cartilage is like a sponge. Squeeze it and release it, and it soaks up nourishment. Leave it idle too long, and it dries out, becoming brittle and prone to tearing. For people over 40, this becomes critical. Decades of repetitive stress combined with long hours of sitting or sudden bursts of heavy exercise create the perfect storm for knee breakdown. And if you ignore these facts, your knees won't just ache, they'll eventually limit your independence. One of the biggest mistakes people make when their knees hurt is to stop moving altogether. It feels natural. If something hurts, rest it right. But when it comes to your knees, too much rest can actually accelerate the damage instead of healing it. Here's why: your knee cartilage is like a sponge without its own blood vessels. Unlike muscles, it doesn't get nutrients directly from blood flow. Instead, it depends on the pumping action of joint fluid during movement. When you bend and straighten your knee joint, fluid is squeezed in and out of the cartilage, delivering oxygen and nutrients and carrying away waste. If you stop moving, that pumping action stops too. The result: your cartilage slowly starves, becoming dry, brittle, and more vulnerable to breakdown. Let's make this concrete. Imagine you leave a sponge on the counter for a week without soaking it in water. It dries, cracks, and crumbles. That's exactly what happens inside your knee when you avoid movement for days at a time. But the problem doesn't stop at cartilage. Extended rest also weakens the muscles that protect your knees, especially the quadriceps, the large muscles at the front of your thighs. These muscles act like shock absorbers, taking pressure off the joint. Without them, every step sends more force directly into your knees. That's why many people notice that after a few days of taking it easy, their knees actually feel stiffer and weaker, not better. This sets up a vicious cycle. Pain makes you stop moving, inactivity weakens the muscles and dries out the cartilage, and the weakened knee becomes even more painful. Many people over 40 inches, the US and Canada, find themselves caught in this loop, thinking rest is helping, when in fact it's making recovery harder. So what's the solution? The key isn't absolute rest, but smart movement. Instead of lying on the couch all day, focus on gentle, controlled exercises that keep the joint fluid circulating and the muscles active without overloading the joint. One of the simplest and safest is the seated leg raise. Sit in a sturdy chair, straighten one leg, and hold it out for 5 to 10 seconds while tightening your thigh muscles. Lower it slowly and repeat. This exercise strengthens the quadriceps without putting direct pressure on the knee joint. Another option is light walking on flat ground or gentle cycling with low resistance. The goal is not to push through pain, but to keep the oil pump of your knees working so the cartilage stays nourished and your muscles stay engaged. Even 5 to 10 minutes of gentle activity several times a day can make a big difference. Here's a question for you. When your knees hurt, do you usually rest completely or do you try to keep moving gently? Type rest if you usually stop all activity, or move if you keep active. And remember to follow this channel. We'll break down practical exercises and lifestyle habits that protect your joints for years to come. Resting may feel safe, but in reality, your knees are begging for the right kind of movement. Think of it not as ignoring pain, but as feeding your cartilage and training your muscles to carry the load. By replacing harmful inactivity with gentle, targeted exercises, you give your knees the best chance to recover and stay strong. If resting too much weakens your knees, the opposite extreme, exercising the wrong way, can be just as damaging. Many adults over 40 know the importance of staying active, but the problem is not all exercise is knee-friendly. Some movements place enormous stress on the joint, wearing it down like sandpaper on glass. Take climbing stairs, for example. On flat ground, your knees handle 1.5 to 2 times your body weight. But when you go upstairs, that load jumps to 3 or 4 times your body weight. Going downstairs is even worse. Your knees absorb 5 to 7 times your weight with every step. That means a 180-pound person suddenly puts more than 1,000 pounds of force through each knee just walking downstairs. Now, imagine doing this repeatedly every day. It's no wonder many people feel sharp pain after stair climbing. Squats are another common trap. Fitness routines often praise deep squats as a way to build strength. But for aging knees with thinning cartilage, repeated deep bends magnify pressure inside the joint. It's like taking a frying pan with a non-stick surface and scrubbing it daily with a steel brush. The coating doesn't last long. Over time, the cartilage thins, roughens, and eventually exposes bone to bone. Running can be tricky too. While jogging can be healthy for some, pounding on hard concrete or asphalt sends shockwaves through the knees. Without proper footwear or technique, those shocks accumulate, turning into pain, swelling, or even long-term injuries like meniscus tears. Many over 40 runners in North America love their morning runs, but don't realize they may be trading cardiovascular benefits for joint damage if they don't adjust their approach. So, what's the better alternative? Instead of high-impact or high-pressure movements, focus on low-impact exercises that protect your knees while still keeping you strong. Swimming is one of the best options. It allows full body movement without joint compression. Cycling on a stationary bike at low resistance also promotes circulation and muscle strength without pounding. Even walking on flat, even surfaces can be a safe and effective way to stay active. If you enjoy strength training, swap out deep squats for partial squats or chair squats, where you sit down and stand up with control. Always keep the knees behind the toes and avoid sudden jerky motions. Another tip is to strengthen surrounding muscles, like the glutes and hamstrings, which help share the load with the quadriceps and reduce direct pressure on the knees. Here's a reflection for you. Have you ever felt worse knee pain after a workout you thought was helping? If so, type yes in the comments. If not, type no. And remember to follow this channel. We're diving deep into practical ways to protect your joints while staying active. Exercising is essential, but exercising wisely is life-changing. By shifting from high-impact stressors to knee-friendly activities, you not only protect your joints, but also ensure you can keep moving freely for decades to come. We've talked about how resting too much weakens your knees, and how exercising the wrong way overloads them. But there's another silent culprit. Most people overlook the shoes you wear every day. Believe it or not, your footwear can make or break the health of your knees. Here's why. Your feet are the foundation of your entire body. Every step you take sends forces upward through your ankles, knees, hips, and spine. If your shoes don't provide proper support, that force is unevenly distributed, and the knees, being the main shock absorbers, take the biggest hit. Over time, this imbalance leads to pain, cartilage wear, and misalignment. Flat shoes with little to no arch support are one of the most common offenders. When the arch of your foot collapses, it causes your legs to rotate inward, throwing your knees out of alignment. Imagine driving a car where the wheels are slightly tilted. Eventually, the tires wear out unevenly. The same thing happens to your knee cartilage. It grinds down faster on one side, leaving you vulnerable to arthritis. On the other end of the spectrum, high heels create a completely different problem. They force your body weight forward, placing extreme pressure on the front of your knees. Many women in North America wear heels for work or social events, not realizing they're sacrificing long-term joint health for short-term style. Walking in heels is like constantly walking downhill. Your knees are forced to break with every step. Even overly soft shoes can be an issue. While they may feel comfortable at first, too much cushion without structure allows your foot to sink in and wobble, reducing stability. This instability again shifts the load to your knees, making them work harder to keep you balanced. So, what's the solution? Choose footwear that supports your natural alignment. Look for shoes with firm arch support, a cushioned but stable sole, and a stiff heel counter that holds your foot in place. Athletic shoes designed for walking or running often meet these criteria, but it's worth getting your gait evaluated at a specialty store. For those who already have flat feet or overpronation, orthotic inserts can help correct alignment and reduce stress on the knees. Here's something to reflect on. When was the last time you really thought about your shoes, not just for comfort or style, but for how they affect your knees? If you've never considered it, type shoes in the comments. If you already use supportive footwear, type support. And remember to follow this channel. We'll continue uncovering the everyday choices that can either harm or heal your joints. Your knees don't work in isolation. They respond to every step you take. By simply upgrading your footwear, you can reduce joint stress, improve posture, and extend the lifespan of your knees. Sometimes the biggest difference doesn't come from surgery or medicine, it comes from what you put on your feet. So far, we've seen how rest, exercise, and shoes affect your knees. But here's something most people rarely consider. The way you sit and the furniture you use every day can slowly destroy your joints without you even noticing. Let's start with the sofa. Many homes in the US and Canada feature soft, low couches that feel relaxing after a long day. But when you sink into one of these cushions, your pelvis tilts backward, your lower back rounds, and your knees are forced into a bent position that puts continuous stress on the joint surfaces. Getting up from that same sofa is even worse. Because it's so low and soft, you have to rock your body forward and push hard through your knees to stand. This creates a shearing force, almost like scissors slicing across your cartilage, repeated every single time you rise. Another overlooked habit is sitting in a squatting or crouched position for too long, whether gardening, cleaning floors, or playing with grandchildren. While these positions may feel natural for short periods, they load your knees with up to 8 times your body weight. Imagine pressing down on a spring repeatedly until it weakens your cartilage is that spring. For people over 40, especially those already experiencing stiffness, prolonged squatting accelerates wear dramatically. Office chairs and car seats can be culprits too. Chairs that are too low or lack proper lumbar and thigh support shift extra pressure onto the knee. Think about a long commute where your legs are bent at a sharp angle for an hour or more. That's hours of compression on your knee cartilage every week. Over months and years, it adds up. So, what's the solution? Choose firm supportive chairs that keep your hips level with or slightly above your knees. When sitting, both feet should rest flat on the floor, and your knees should be bent at about a 90-degree angle, not squashed tighter, not dangling in the air. If your sofa is too soft, place a firm cushion or wedge underneath you to raise the seat height and make standing easier. For gardening or floor chores, use a small stool or knee pads instead of crouching for long periods. Here's a quick question for you. Do you usually sit on a soft couch at home, or do you prefer a firmer chair? Type soft if you love sinking into your sofa, or firm if you already use supportive seating. And don't forget to follow this channel. We'll keep showing you how little changes in daily habits can save your knees in the long run. Your knees are not just damaged by big traumas or accidents. Often it's the small repeated stresses from the way you sit, stand, and move through your home that carve away at your joint health. By adjusting your posture and furniture, you're not just making yourself more comfortable, you're actively protecting the hinges that carry you through life. We've talked about how sitting shoes and exercise can hurt your knees, but perhaps the most dangerous mistake happens when knee pain finally shows up and people treat it the wrong way. Instead of addressing the root cause, many rely on quick fixes that bring temporary relief while silently worsening the condition. One common example is the misuse of heat therapy. Heat feels soothing because it relaxes muscles and increases blood flow, but if your knee is swollen or inflamed, applying heat is like pouring gasoline on a fire. The warmth dilates blood vessels even more, increasing swelling and prolonging recovery. In these cases, a cold pack applied for 10 to 15 minutes is far more effective at reducing inflammation. Heat should only be used later once the acute swelling has passed to relax stiffness. Another widespread issue is the overuse of painkillers. Over-the-counter medications like ibuprofen or acetaminophen can mask pain, allowing people to push through activities that continue to damage their cartilage. Worse, long-term or excessive use carries risks to your liver, stomach, and kidneys, organs that are already under strain as we age. Pain relief has its place, but it should never replace targeted treatment or lifestyle changes. Some patients also turn to repeated steroid injections for fast relief. While these shots reduce inflammation, frequent use can actually weaken cartilage and accelerate joint degeneration. It's like patching a leaking roof with duct tape. The water may stop for a while, but the structure underneath continues to rot. So what's the right way to handle knee pain? First, respect your body's signals. Pain is not just an inconvenience, it's your body's warning system telling you something is wrong. Instead of shutting it down with heat or pills, identify the trigger. Was it too much stair climbing, a long run on pavement, hours of sitting without movement? Correcting these habits is the first step. Second, focus on active recovery. Gentle stretching, light strengthening exercises, and controlled mobility work keep the knee nourished without overwhelming it. Cold therapy in the acute phase, followed by heat in the recovery stage, can provide balanced relief. For persistent pain, consulting a physical therapist is far safer than relying on repeated injections or self-medication. Now, let me ask you, when your knees hurt, what's your go-to method? Do you grab a heating pad, take a pill, or try something else? Share your answer in the comments. It might help others who are facing the same struggles. And remember to follow this channel because understanding the right and wrong ways to treat knee pain can save you from years of discomfort. The bottom line is, simple, quick fixes rarely fix anything. By respecting your knees, listening to pain as a signal, and choosing recovery strategies that heal rather than harm you, give yourself the best chance to keep walking, climbing, and living independently well into your later years. After understanding the 5 major mistakes that damage your knees, the next logical question is, what should you do instead? The good news is that protecting and even improving your knee health doesn't require expensive treatments or waiting for surgery. Instead, small, consistent lifestyle adjustments can make a powerful difference. First, build strength where it matters most. The quadriceps, the muscles at the front of your thighs, act like shock absorbers for your knees. When strong, they absorb much of the impact from walking, climbing, or standing up. A simple exercise like the seated leg raise can be practiced daily. Sit on a sturdy chair, straighten one leg, hold it for 10 seconds, then slowly lower. Repeat 10 to 15 times per side. This low-impact move strengthens the quads without putting direct pressure on the joint. Second, focus on maintaining a healthy weight. Every extra pound adds nearly 4 pounds of pressure to your knees with each step. For someone 20 pounds overweight, that's nearly 80 pounds of extra force grinding down cartilage daily. Even modest weight loss, 5 to 10 pounds, can significantly reduce pain and slow progression of arthritis. Third, choose low-impact cardio. Replace stair climbing, running on pavement, or deep squats with joint-friendly activities like cycling, swimming, or brisk walking on even surfaces. These not only strengthen muscles, but also keep joint fluids circulating, nourishing your cartilage. Think of it as giving your knees the oil change they desperately need. Fourth, be mindful of your footwear and seating. Supportive shoes with firm arches and stable heels keep your alignment correct, reducing stress on the knees. Similarly, using chairs with proper height and firmness prevents unnecessary strain when standing up. If you love lounging, use cushions to raise soft sofas to a more knee-friendly level. Finally, don't ignore early warning signs. Stiffness in the morning, clicking sounds, or mild swelling are red flags, not just part of aging. Addressing them with rest to movement balance, proper exercise, and supportive habits now can prevent irreversible damage later. Here's a reflection for you. Which of these changes feels easiest for you to start today? Is it switching shoes, adding a simple leg raise, or adjusting how you sit? Type your answer in the comments. And follow this channel. We're here to help you take small steps that protect your mobility and independence for years to come. Your knees don't need perfection, they need consistent care. By combining strength training, smart weight management, low-impact cardio, supportive footwear, and mindful daily habits, you create a golden shield around your joints. These aren't just medical tips, they're investments in your freedom to walk, play, and live life on your terms. We've walked through the hidden dangers to your knees, from resting too much, exercising the wrong way, and wearing unsupportive shoes, to sitting on poor furniture and relying on quick fixes for pain. We've also seen how small, consistent changes like strengthening your quads, maintaining a healthy weight, choosing low-impact activities, and adjusting daily habits can protect your knees for years to come. The message is clear: your knees are not doomed to fail with age. They are like faithful hinges that, with the right care, can continue carrying you through life's journey smoothly and strongly. Now, the real question is, what will you do starting today? Will you keep repeating habits that slowly erode your mobility, or will you take small, smart steps to preserve your freedom? Remember, independence in your 60 seconds, 70 seconds, and beyond depends on the decisions you make right now in your 40 seconds and 50 seconds. I'd love to hear from you. Which of the 5 mistakes we discussed do you recognize in your own life? Share your answer in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to make a change. And don't forget to follow this channel. Together, we can build a community that values health, movement, and dignity as we age. Your knees are your lifelong companions. Treat them well, and they will reward you with strength, stability, and independence for decades to come. The choice, as always, is in your hands and in every step you take.